Hi everybody. I want to talk today about false flag events. Uh, Seems like they've been on the increase lately, and I want to talk about it to let people know don't believe everything that you hear that comes out on the news and mainstream media because they want to think that we're so gullible uh, that they want to feed us all this stuff and cause us to panic and then run out and do something, we shouldn't do, something foolish. And so there's a list here. I found this article and it was interesting. It had a list of things which actually benefited the government and with their plans and what they use against us here in the United States. And it also applies in other countries as well. And and there's a list of them, so I'll get started here. And the first one is create an international incident. Now, a lot of this has really been going on lately, and this can be like embargoes, like they can put an embargo on another country and breaking relationships with a country and arming countries that are moral enemies to other countries, such as arming Georgia opposite to Russia and Taiwan opposite to China, that sort of thing. And this can cause almost war type situations and divert all attention from domestic issues. So basically, that's what they just usually do with false flag events. They direct our attention away to something else that is actually going on that the media doesn't cover. Okay, and the next one is impending terrorism. Now, if the United States government puts out an urgent warning that hundreds of terrorists are now here and waiting to attack, most everyone would still have a knee-jerk reaction and believe it, especially if it made to look even worse, like a 9/11 event level. And it takes all attentions away from everything for at least a couple of weeks. Okay. I mean, how many times have we gone through something like that, right? And the next one, same thing. Actually, that allows terrorism to get through, which allows an enemy to attack the country is not attacking any country is not new. And many historians feel that, like, Pearl Harbor was allowed to occur to gain full public support to go to war against Germany and get rid of the Japanese threat, and complete distractions for a long time, and a type of coming together of the country. And another one is attacking another country, like the wag the dog scenario. Airstrikes are all too easy and have little or no casualties, along with little or no public protests, as long as the country attacked cannot fight back. The war has a way of energizing the country, and people are still highly naturalized when it comes to their home. Announced that the country is out of money. Now, this has also been going on quite a bit. Because we all know that the United States, the Federal Reserve, prints money like it's going out of style, like it's newspaper, like they print newspaper. And such a statement would cause bank runs all over the country, okay? And this is what they're wanting to do, to cause people to panic. The purpose here is to cause a countrywide breakdown of the society and panic. So martial law and other strict controls can be immediately issued. Inflate precious metal prices. Okay, this is another thing what they're doing also, about raising the price of gold. And now they're actually they're focusing now on silver. Okay, who can afford both? This is getting a good scare and create an artificial price and massive buffle can be quite a benefit to them. Uh, if timed right, prices will drop and investors can buy back into stocks and jump the markets considerably. And this would be a big boost a week or so before elections. So you want to keep that in mind, any of you out there that buy gold or silver, and junk silver. I'm not sure about junk silver, though. That might be a different thing. But anyway, that's keep your heads up about money and silver, or the precious metals, gold, silver. I'm not sure about platinum either. Though there's the most of us about things I hear about gold and silver. So anyway, having a long bank holiday. Now this is an opposite of the benefit to the stock market and meant to actually collapse the economy to prevent an event such as the elections. Okay, so we might want to look at that because I think it was next year will be an election. Okay, as investors would be sure to fully sell off the next few days. A desperate president could do this to stop being voted out of office. Okay, so you want to keep your eyes on that. That could very well happen. Instigating an attack on a U.S. warship by a foreign country. And I discussed that earlier in the video. And that happened with the USS Liberty. Even though the U.S. entered any waters, the public would still view the U.S. as the victim and just justification for war and be all for the USA. This could happen in China or Russia, but probably would be Iran or North Korea or a smaller country. Also, air space violations, any foreign territory transgression on purpose. Pass something specifically targeting a group of people. The goal here is to infuriate a certain race, a religion, or any large number of people so they start to fight amongst each other and forget about the government. Okay, the good excuse here is for the states to issue a sort of control measure, also to curb the violence. And the recent riot that happened was in Milwaukee, and this was a race riot. So this is another false flag event. The overblown dangers of a pandemic. Now, germs still scare most people, and as the government passes all sorts of regulations, no one really cares or criticizes anything because they look like they're protecting the population. Okay, and that's going on quite a bit. So actually, this is just a list, a rundown of all these false flags, to keep aware of. Government scandals. The media and people thrive on soap opera garbage, and that's really going on quite a bit too about soap opera things. And any type of a truly juicy gossip item is going to be all that is going to be talked about. Now remember, like the Monica Lewinsky debacle. Okay, a certain president was brought under impeachment trial for this, and a certain Iraq was bombed during that time. Okay, and I don't know if a lot of you remember that, but when they come up with a government scandal, there's always something behind it. So we have to figure out what is the false flag and what is for real, what's going on behind it. There's a fake disaster like false chemical spills, problems with nuclear reactors, and this has been coming up also. Anything to divert attention away or close off an area for some purpose. Pull back all diplomats from every country. That could be for longer periods of time. than a few months ago. This creates all sorts of speculation and causes attention to go more away from the country and domestic issues. Also, it includes kicking out select diplomats out of the United States. Disappearance of leaders. Now that's been happening recently also, hasn't it, about leaders disappearing, especially like the Congress been going on over to Israel, and they just disappeared, while we were going through our economy problem. Now, given for many different reasons, it would shock everyone as the leaders was told by the media to be in a highly secure and undisclosed places, or no reason is given. Panic would set in, and everything else would be temporarily forgotten that ailed the country so much. Backing of a treaty or an international agreement. This can be a bluff to gain a better hand and more influence with other countries. It is also a good way to bring some patriotism to the country, especially something that could bring some jobs back to the United States, even though the United States has no intention of living up to it. The enemy, and now here's a biggie, the enemy has infiltrated us. Okay, the perfect pretext for a complete evasive ID system to be started up for the country, and many other regulations that lead up to more of a police state. More people would support this than many that would have you believe out of fear of the enemy, real or not. Firearms has become a national security risk. Several excuses for this has come from drug gangs to terrorism to unseen threats, waiting periods, massive background checks. All guns have to go through a costly yearly registration process, limiting all guns to only being able to hold 8 bullets or less, or to confiscation of most guns. The fees would bring in more money to the state, taking most everyone's means of defending themselves in the first place to a dictator taking over. Most people would obey the law, unfortunately. Don't do it. You don't have to. If there's tyranny in the land, don't do it. Government attacks their own country. Sick as it sounds, and does that sound familiar? Those in control are capable of practically anything. Then blame a terrorist group of another country and focus public's hate away from the government. Most likely, a cyber attack because of difficulty of tracing it back and ease to blame anyone for it. Put strategic military force on very high alert. DEFCON 3 or 2 on perceived threat, even without giving any reason. Other countries would react and put their forces on high alert. Perfect way of diverting all attention away from anything else other than a possible large-scale or world war. Communication shutdowns. Okay, this has actually been happening off and on quite a bit recently. The government can shut down everything, and if it so desires, and leaves open only emergency channels. This includes the internet, television, radio, telephone services, almost everything. This will blind everyone of what is going on and lead to panic and chaos. Then the government steps in and brings order to chaos, a police state. No reason may ever be told. All of these false flags events that I brought to you can happen, but most of them are already occurred in other countries, and some of them as well in the United States. As time grows with more desperate in the United States and other countries, accept the governments to start resorting to most desperate measures, including these false flags events. So that's it, you guys. Y'all take care. Jesus loves you, and I love you too. Until next time, talk to you later. Bye-bye.